How about now? Okay. Hello there. That'll have to do. All right. Well, what up, everybody? Hopefully we're not muted anymore. I think we've tried to check that. We're all good now. Sweet. Glad you can hear me. And probably this lightsaber. There we go. Oh, what's up, Connor? Long time no see. Wow, we got a lot of people here. Can't really keep up with who all is here right now. Everybody? Hopefully. Let's see. All right. Star Wars Multiverse, you're here. Austin's here. Connor's here. Palm Krell. Sage Scorpion. All right. Okay. All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you guys for really the 1,000 subs. I think that you guys are the reason that we got there. So thank you for that. With that, we're going to jump into today's live stream. We've got a couple things. We're going to rank, as you can see on the screen, we're going to rank all of, well, not all of them, but some of the big Star Wars video games over the years. And then we're going to talk Mandalorian predictions, because obviously we got the Mando coming out later tonight / early tomorrow morning. So, let's do this. Let's jump it right in. You guys know how Tier Maker works at this point. We've got an A, B, C, D category, and we are just going to start from the top and move right down to the last one. Honestly, most of these games are pretty good, and I played most of them, but there's a few of them that I never played. So I'll point those out and be sure to get your guys' input on those ones. So let's, without further ado, let's jump in. Let's see what we got going on. As you can see, I've got Revenge of the Sith playing in the background. That is our movie of choice today. All right. Ethan, welcome. Glad that you're here. Ricky, hello there. Okay, so first up, we've got the original Battlefront. Like, we're talking 2004 Battlefront 1. This was the very first, pretty much large-scale Star Wars shooter that was kind of like Battlefield. So a lot of these games, side note, I played these games when you could go to a video store and rent them, which is crazy. So a lot of these games I only had for like a week or so and then would have to take back, and such was the case with the very first Battlefront. I rented it probably 3 or 4 times, had it for a week each time, and then had to take it back, and it was such a good time. So we're going to rank this. We're going to put this at an A, simply because it was the first, I mean, it really paved the way for Star Wars games. It paved the way. Obviously, there's some complaints and some downsides of it, but it really was a good game. I enjoyed it, and I play it quite a bit on, you can get it like on Xbox One. I don't know if PlayStation has it, but you can get it Xbox One and PC. Kind of just, they put it on those platforms and you can play it. So I still play it quite often. Okay, next up is one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time, and that is Star Wars Bounty Hunter. You may have noticed the thumbnail is Jango Fett from this game, and it is one of the coolest things. Connor, no, this is Luke Skywalker's Return of the Jedi lightsaber. It's just the Black Series one from Hasbro. It's the only lightsaber that I currently have. Would love to get another one, but lightsabers are spendy, so right now we just have the Luke Skywalker one. Roman, what is up? How's it going? All right, so Jango Fett is A for me. This was a fantastic game. If you have a PlayStation, PlayStation 4, you can actually buy this game and play it. My roommate has got a PlayStation, so I've been playing it once in a while on his PlayStation. So everybody say shout out to my roommate Jordan for allowing me to play my favorite all-time Star Wars game, and that is Bounty Hunter. Next, we've got Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. So I'm going to put this one as a B, and this is my personal opinion. My personal opinion. I know that this game was incredibly popular, and a lot of people played it and loved it, but just me personally, I played through it once, and I thought it was hilarious, and it was a good game, but it just didn't grab me because it was a little childish, which is exactly what it's trying to be. It's not trying to be anything perfect or whatever. And also, comparatively speaking, you know what? As I'm speaking, it's gonna go to A tier. So, I apologize. Yeah, Star Wars Multiverse. So sorry that I didn't give it an S, but it is going to be an A. So, Roman, they should add 1v1 to Battlefront 2. And I assume you're talking about the most recent Battlefront 2, like a 1v1, kind of like they did, I think, in the Revenge of the Sith game. Anyways, Empire at War. This was a fantastic game. It was... I love these real-time strategy games. I don't know if you guys ever played Empire at War or Age of Empires, or what else was there? Civilization. That was a little bit different, but there's a ton of these real-time strategy games, especially in like the early 2000s. And I believe there was one attempt before Empire at War to do that in the Star Wars world, but it kind of fell flat, and Empire at War really nailed it. There's a point when you get to wheel or have control of the Death Star. That is just fantastic. So yeah, it's cool. You get to do space battles and ground battles, and really every decision you make is important. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Right now in the chat, tell me what you guys think is the best all-time Star Wars video game, and tell me why too. Tell me that in the chat, and we'll keep trucking along. So we got the Revenge of the Sith game, and this game was a lot of fun. It was... I only played through it probably once or twice. I think at this point I was pretty steeped in Battlefront 2, the 2005 version. So I grabbed this, played through it, and was like, awesome, Revenge of the Sith pretty much goes right along with the movie. For the most part, it was cool, but most of my attention was on Battlefront 2, so I didn't get to play it a lot. I don't know, did you guys ever play this one? Lego Star Wars because that's your childhood. That's fair. That's fair. It was a solid game. Solid game. What else do we got? Connor says OG Battlefront 2. Yep, that is a good one. Revenge of the Sith. It did have a good combat system, and I'm pretty sure I remember there is a 1v1 game mode in Revenge of the Sith, and that was pretty cool because you could really I don't know, you could relive a lot of cool battles or make your own. Roman, Battlefront or Fallen Order. Paul Krell says Fallen Order because it had so much different places and it took a while to finish. Oh my gosh, Vader was so epic in Fallen Order. Connor said OG Battlefront 2. Okay. Or PSP Force Unleashed. Wow. I never actually played Force Unleashed on PSP. That's impressive. I did actually just play Force Unleashed on Xbox. I'm actually on the last level, I think. That is a really good game. If you've not played Force Unleashed, you need to do that. Starkiller is an awesome character. Alright. Okay, so Star Wars Rebel Strike. This game I never played, so this probably isn't going to be a fair assumption. But it just wasn't... It didn't grab me. But anyways, if you know anything about Rebel Strike, and you have some input to pull it from the bottom tier, then please share that in the chat. But it's just bottom tier for me because I really didn't know too much about it. All right. So next up, we've got Knights of the Old Republic 2. In this game, it's gonna, for me, it was a B. It was fantastic. It was a great follow-up to Knights of the Old Republic. Obviously, the storyline with Darth Nihilus and Darth Sion and what's their Darth Trey, I think is their master. That whole storyline was pretty cool. I think Nihilus is an interesting character. I did a video on him recently. Just a super weird, dark character. So, and you know, he's featured right there. The Old Republic. We'll try it out this weekend. Oh, so funny thing, I tried to play the Old Republic, that game, and it didn't. Back when I had a PC, I currently don't have a PC, which I'm hoping to get one soon. But back when I had that, I tried to download the Old Republic, and it just didn't work on the PC at all, so I never got to play it. But I hear it's pretty good. Yeah. So that's how you talk about Star Wars games. Awesome. Cool. So we've got the 2015 Battlefront. Now there's two ways to rank this. If we want to rank it when it first came out, upon launch, we're going to put it down here at a C because it launched, there's almost no content to it. It was so disappointing because everyone's expecting a new generation version of Battlefront 2 from 2005. We're excited for it, and it just kind of fell flat. So if we were going off launch, it'd be a C. But they did add DLCs, and they did make it a little bit better so that we were able to kind of go into it with more content. You could play as heroes a little bit more. They added more maps. We got Scarif pretty early on, which was cool. They piggybacked off of Rogue One quite a bit, so it ended up being a high C. So I'm going to keep it as a C, but it ends up being a high C. And really, comparatively speaking, it's a fine game where it ended up, but because of the sour taste left in my mouth, it's kind of a C tier here. So, if you disagree with me, let me know in the chat. I'd like to know. Should I get Knights of the Old Republic for £2? Absolutely. I don't know if £2 is a good price or not, because that is not a currency I'm familiar with, but I would absolutely get it if you can. It is a fantastic game, but we'll talk about it when we get to that point in the list. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. This is a high B for me. This game was awesome, and in a lot of ways, this is the game that really paved the way for Squadrons. The most recent Star Wars game to come out. I played it a lot. It was a good time. I had a buddy when we were in, I think, kindergarten or first grade. He had this, and every time I'd spend the night at his house, we played Rogue Squadron, and it was a fantastic. £2 is like $3. Then yeah, absolutely get it. That's a great deal. Force Unleashed, Battlefront 1 on PS4. I don't know. I do know that Battlefront 1 is on, if you're talking about the original one, it is on Xbox and PC. I don't know about PlayStation, though. I'm pretty sure it is. Alright, so let's move on. We've got Force Unleashed. I can't tell if this is the second one or the first one. I think this is the second one. Yeah, this is the second one. This game's a C for me. It was good. The graphics were obviously improved, and some of the gameplay was improved from the first one, but the story just, it didn't grab me like the first one did. The first one had such an awesome story that when I finished the Force Unleashed, the first Force Unleashed, I was blown away. And that, you know what, that brings us to The Force Unleashed. The first one, and we'll put it at top tier. S tier, Force Unleashed. It is probably one of the best games that I've ever played. Outside of even Star Wars, I got like sucked into the story, sucked into the gameplay, and the very ending of it. If you haven't played it, I don't want to give any spoilers, but the very ending, the very last mission, I was on my feet in my room with the controller in my hand, and I was just screaming at the TV. It was a good time. So, yeah. First one is far better, and I really think that it also paved the way for lightsaber combat in video games, and I think it really is kind of the precursor to Jedi Fallen Order. Plus, it was just this. Oh, gosh, I could go on about the story all day. And yeah, Star Wars Multiverse just mentioned it had Sam Witwer. Sam Witwer was Starkiller, so you can't beat that. S tier for sure. I am sorry if I've offended you by putting Force Unleashed 2 at a C tier, but that's just where it was for me. To me, the only thing that I was really pumped about it was the graphics were cool. A little bit cooler, but everything else kind of disappointed me compared to the first one. All right, you guys know where this next one's going. Star Wars Battlefront 2. That is S tier, hands down. There is no way that there's just no way. If you're a Star Wars fan, you have at some point played this. If you're like myself, you grew up playing this. I was in 4th grade when this game came out. It came out right. It piggybacked off of Revenge of the Sith. So prequel era was going strong, and it was just a fantastic game. Everything from the gameplay, you got to play as Mace Windu. To me, there's not enough Mace Windu content in video games. So Battlefront 2 was awesome for that reason. It was awesome for the gameplay single player, co-op single player. My roommate Jordan and I, who I mentioned earlier, we just got done. Well, actually, we're partway through a Galactic Conquest. I'm playing as the Empire. I'm playing as the CIS. He's playing as the Republic. And right now I'm losing that, but it's just a fantastic game. What is Star Wars Force Unleashed content like? Basic gist of it is you play as Starkiller, who is Darth Vader's secret apprentice, and you really get to go and you acquire Force abilities and new lightsaber skills over the game, and you get to visit. It's cool because it happens in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, so you really get to see. There's a lot of nods to the prequel era, especially Revenge of the Sith, and there's a lot of nods to the Galactic Empire era or the original trilogy era. So a lot of fun. Yeah. Oh, I would love for Qui-Gon to be in the most recent Battlefront 2, but he's not. So, okay, so this one is TIE Fighter. This one, actually, in a lot of ways, this is like the mid 90s, I think, early 90s. This is the 90s version of Star Wars Squadrons. I never actually played it, so I can't speak too much on it. It looked like a fun game. I'm pretty sure that it had the power system that Squadrons has, where you had to divert power to your blasters, and when you did that, it took power from your shields. So, I mean, if you've played Squadrons, you know that that's an aspect of the game. But it was fine. It looked like it was a fine game. Like I said, I've never played that before. What else we got? Yeah, if going back to Battlefront 2, I really wish that we had gotten Ahsoka. I wish they had finished up the updates by giving us Ahsoka and Asajj Ventress rather than BB-8 and BB-9A or whatever. Paul and Krell, who do you think Sasha Banks will play? Oh man, I would love for it to be Sabine, but I'm not sure that it's going to be. It could be anyone. It could be Sabine. It could be a brand new character. I'd like to see her be actually more of a force-sensitive character that can maybe connect us to Ahsoka or connect us to some of the Jedi. I don't know. I really, it's up in the air. Who do you guys think that Sasha Banks will play in The Mandalorian? Possibly tonight. Possibly we'll see her tonight. Pawn Crow, who? Jason, hello there. Do you recommend the first one before the second one? What are we talking about, Roman? What are we talking about? First Battlefront or first Force Unleashed versus second Force Unleashed? Tell me specifically in the chat, and I'll give you my recommendation. So next up, we got the Clone Wars era version of Lego Star Wars. I never played this, to be honest with you. I'm gonna put it right here at a C because it's a Lego Star Wars game, so it's hard to kind of go wrong there. But you know, I never played it, so tell me if you played the Clone Wars era Lego Star Wars. Would you prefer the first season of Mandalorian or the second season? Well, so far the second season. If you watched my breakdown of the Mandalorian episode, Chapter 9, I did mention that in Season 1, all 8 episodes were great, but there's nothing in any of those episodes outside of Baby Yoda or the child being revealed and the Darksaber being revealed. Those were the two things that like got me really excited and on my feet. But Chapter 9, Season 2, I mean, it kicked off with a bang. You have everything from crate dragons to Cobb Vanth to whatever else. And you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the episode. I'm sure that it's probably safe to give spoilers away now, but I don't want to be the one to spoil things for you if you haven't seen it in this live stream. But really like it. Connor, you just finished Rebels. Awesome. I love Rebels. I think it's got some of the best Star Wars. Oh, Force Unleashed. Roman, definitely number 1. First Force Unleashed. First Force Unleashed. Say that 10 times fast. Yeah, the first one is far better than the second one. Okay, Shadows of the Empire. Never played this. Don't know anything about it, so we're going to put it there. Dark Forces was like an early 90s game. Again, never played it. I don't even think I was born when this thing came out. I think it was like very early 90s, but it was pretty much a first-person shooter on PC. And it held up. I think it was based off of the Doom games. So, you know, there was a lot of those copycat games, and this one held up compared to a lot of them. I've seen some gameplay, and for being an early 90s game, it doesn't look bad, so we'll put it there. Just wanted to continue the meme. Dark Forces was basically Doom in Star Wars, yeah. What else we got? What else we got here? Move this up just a little bit so you can see all of them. Okay. Nope, that's not what we want. Okay. Alright, so we've got Knights of the Old Republic. This one is top tier. This one is top tier primarily because it's the best look. It is my favorite look at the Old Republic. It really paved the way for the Old Republic era. So sad that the Old Republic isn't canon, but hopefully we'll get some Old Republic content at some point. But this game, it was an RPG, and man, I think I've played it probably 10 times now. And who doesn't love Darth Revan? Darth Revan's a pretty big part of this game. Yeah, I don't have much to say because I don't think much needs to be said about why this is a top tier Star Wars game. My favorite Star Wars character is probably Obi-Wan Kenobi. I relate to Obi-Wan a lot. He and I, like, he's got a similar personality to me. He's kind of a think before he acts. Kind of more of an anxious guy. He's a worrisome guy, but that worry really yeah. I just relate to Obi-Wan a lot. Star Wars Multiverse, Revan is canon now. Yeah, so they like in Rise of Skywalker, they have Sith one of the Sith legions is named after Revan, I think. In terms of the unfinished Clone Wars episode, I don't know. It's hard to say whether or not we can consider an unfinished episode of Clone Wars canon because it was unfinished and not released. Yeah, I mean the same conversation pops up when we talk about Cad Bane's fate. There's an unfinished Cad Bane episode where Boba Fett kills Cad Bane in a shootout. Really cool episode, really cool scene. Would have been awesome to get it finished, but it's not. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that an unfinished episode of the Clone Wars, or really anything, can be considered canon? No. So the entire Old Republic is Legends right now. Yeah, it's Legends right now, and it is different than the High Republic. So the High Republic stuff coming out in January and later this year is all a separate era. It takes place 200 years before the Phantom Menace Episode 1, whereas the Old Republic takes place thousands of years before the Phantom Menace. So just a little bit different. On how you would have done the new trilogy. What do you think? Star Wars Multiverse? What do you think of that idea? I like it. Yeah. Let's see. Battlefront 2, the most recent one. So, I might get some hate in the comments for this, but this one is an A tier for me. Obviously, it had a rocky start, but over the 2 years after its release, up until even earlier 2020, they really reworked this game. It is just, I love it. I mean, it's got something for everybody, whether you're a prequel fan, original trilogy, sequel fan. It's got something for everybody, and it's probably the best Star Wars multiplayer game right now. I mean, it's like for this era, it's probably the ideal Star Wars multiplayer game. I still play it a ton. In fact, as soon as I get a PC again, I'm going to be doing a lot of streams from it and hopefully playing with you guys. I play on Xbox right now, so if any of you play on Xbox Battlefront 2, let me know, and we should play sometime. Anyways, moving on from that. We got Star Wars Clone Wars. This game was weird. It was like kind of, I don't know. I mean, I rented it, like I said. When I played a lot of these games, it was when you could rent them. It was fine. It was pretty vehicle heavy. I felt like every mission had you in a vehicle. I think there was like one or two where you got to play as Anakin Skywalker, and the lightsaber combat was atrocious. But it's not a bottom class. I'm kind of leaving this last tier here for games that I didn't really play. So this one is, whatever. Austin Higgins is the unfinished Clone Wars are canon because they were almost made. We just never seen it in the era before Phantom Menace is canon, but we never seen that. Should be the same for the Clone Wars. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously the High Republic stuff is canon because they've branded it as canon. But I don't know. I still am kind of on the fence about unfinished Clone Wars episodes. I could go either way. I would love to believe that they are officially canon. But if you have a source that tells you that an unfinished Clone Wars episode is canon, let me know. Star Wars Multiverse, yeah, I would love to do that, especially with Star Wars Corner. But since there are 3 episodes, oh yeah, that'd be cool to do kind of a 3-channel collab with Bantha Stew. Man, why isn't he here? Okay, Republic Commando. I played this on PC. This was fantastic. You got to play. It was a first-person shooter, and you had the helmet view of a Republic Commando Delta Squad, and it was really cool. It had a lot of in-game communication in terms of directing your squad. I really enjoyed it. I'd play it again. I think I have it on Steam, so as soon as I get a PC again, I'll probably play through it again. Star Wars Rogue Leader. Didn't play this one, so we're putting it at this bottom tier right there. Didn't same goes for Mysteries of the Sith. Never played it. Mandalorian Martin, how's it going? How is it going? Connor, what Black Series helmets will come out next year? I don't know. I haven't seen any that are supposed to be coming out. I know that over the next year we're gonna have lightsabers like Ahsoka Tano's lightsabers coming out. Got some other ones. I think Dooku's lightsaber's already coming out. Yeah, it's I don't know about helmets though. I do not know about helmets. Okay, we all know this is going right here. This is bottom tier. Star Wars Connect. It was atrocious. I don't even want to talk about the dance off that happened. There's a dance off where Han Solo's getting jiggy and singing "I'm Han Solo." We're not even gonna talk about that. We're moving on. That's bottom tier. Palpatine lightsaber, yeah, that's coming out. You're getting Dooku's lightsaber. I really want it. So I don't know if you guys can see the wall behind me. Oh, speaking of, we're at a good point of Revenge of the Sith. But the wall behind me is normally where this lightsaber goes, and next to it on the other side of the big poster is where I have a spot for another lightsaber, and I don't know which one that's going to be. I would love for it to be Mace Windu's. That's probably one lightsaber I would like to have, but I don't know. Lightsabers are expensive, so anyways. This game, never played it. What is it, though? I gotta look real close at the computer screen. I don't even know what this is. If you know what game this is, let me know in the chat. But I never played it. It was a PlayStation, so good times. Good times. Oh, gosh. Please. Please. Please stop. Please stop singing the Han Solo stuff. Alright. Jedi Outcast. This one was fantastic. It was the follow-up to the Jedi Knight series. It's cool. You got to play as Kyle Katarn. A lot of good customization. Lightsaber contact. Lightsaber combat in this was awesome. Gosh. No. No. Okay, good. I'm glad that, Austin, you retracted that message, because there's nothing that will put the Kinect game in the top tier. So yeah, Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast was a B for me. That brings us to Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. That was an A for me. Loved it. Played it a lot. No. Get rid of that. Oh, no, not Obi-Wan. Not Star Wars Obi-Wan. So, I mentioned that Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite Star Wars character. That does not mean I want this game that follows Obi-Wan Kenobi. You play as Obi-Wan as a Padawan, and it's just, I don't know. Maybe at the time it was a good game, but the graphics were terrible. The mechanics were terrible. It just, whatever. Don't know this one at all. If you know it, let me know. Uh, oh man. Helmets they can make: the Mandalorian helmet, Jango, Phasma, Scout Trooper, Revan. Okay, of those, I would love to see a Jango Fett helmet, and I would love to see a Revan helmet. Those would both be awesome. I don't own any Black Series helmets or any helmets, so and I don't really need to because I I'm a collector. As soon as I get collecting one thing, I can't stop myself from collecting more of it. So I just started. My most recent is Funko Pops. I just bought this Boba Fett, and uh, yeah, I think I'm gonna buy more Funko Pops. Although they are a lot cheaper than helmets and Black Series stuff. So um, that's probably a fine collection. But anyways, I don't own any Black Series helmets. Yeah, we want Keanu Revan. Got Vader and Boba. Also, are you talking Funko Pops, Connor? Yeah. Black Panther. That's awesome. Put it in. Make you a deal. We put it in S tier for the memes, or the game itself for the memes. Nah, it's gonna stay in the bottom tier. Jedi Power Battles. Okay, don't hate me, but this game, was not actually terrible. It's gonna be a high C for me. This was actually the first video game I ever played. Um, I played this at my cousin's house. They had a PlayStation 1, and they had this game. And pretty much it followed the story of Episode 1, but you got to play through it as several notable Jedi. Here's why this game was so cool. Because 1, you could play as Qui-Gon Jinn. 2, you could play as Mace Windu. 3, you could play as Obi-Wan, which is fine. There's a lot of games where you can play as Obi-Wan. 4, you could play as Plo Koon. What other game can you play as Plo Koon with a yellow lightsaber? And 5, you could play as Adi Gallia with a red lightsaber, which was interesting. Those are 5 awesome Jedi that we don't get to play as often, and you could, once you beat the game, play as Darth Maul, play through it with Darth Maul. That was also fun. So I had a lot of fun with that game. It to me, if we're trying to be unbiased, to me it's a C. But because it's the first video game I ever played, first Star Wars game I ever played, and because of the playable characters, it's a B for me. But it was awesome. Um, yeah, it's Jedi Power Battles. You could play as Plo Koon, and I loved it. If I could find a way to play it again, I absolutely would. I might need to go on eBay or whatever, find a copy of it. I can't see what game this is. I can't even see it. I didn't play it. That's all we'll learn from here. Yeah, did you guys see the trailer for the new Lego Star Wars game? That is going to be a fantastic game, and I can't wait to play it. It'll be fun. It will be a good time. The Lego Star Wars games are, I know on this tier list, I haven't sold them as something that I really love, but that's just because there's a lot of other games that have grabbed my attention over it. Okay, Star Wars Starfighter. I never actually played this one, but it was kind of interesting. It was, I mean, there was a, is it the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, no, this is different. There was another game called Jedi Starfighter that came out around Attack of the Clones. That one was a lot more fun. I think you played as Adi Gallia. I think that was the playable character. Can't remember, but I loved that game. Super fun. Bummed that it's not on this tier list. So honorable mention: Star Wars Jedi Starfighter. The new Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, anybody? Oh yeah, counting down the days for that Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. Did you ever complete the story on Squadrons? So, yes, I did. Not sure if I'm going to do a breakdown video or not, but I did do it. It was great. I loved it. Squadrons was a fun game. It's not a game that I am addicted to. I haven't played it in a couple weeks. I beat the story, played it multiplayer for a while, but I kind of went back to playing Battlefront 2. just, yeah, it's a good game. It's not on this list because I think this list was made before that game, but came out. But it's a good game. Star Wars Pod Racer Episode 1. It's a classic racing game. You race as a pod racer. Um, I played it like once or twice. The graphics were kind of weird. Felt like it missed a lot of multiplayer opportunity. So I'll put it there. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Never played this, so that's kind of down there. Well, that's all of them. What do you guys think of this list? Tell me in the chat what games are missing, because there are a lot of games that are missing. Obviously, Jedi Fallen Order is missing. I already mentioned Jedi Starfighter from way back. Squadrons is missing. What other games deserve to be on this list and aren't? Also, just a side note, I would put Fallen Order as top tier, as an S tier, because Fallen Order to me is the culmination of all of these games. You have games like Force Unleashed, you have games like Jedi Knight, Jedi Fallen, or Jedi Outcast, you have Jedi Academy. All of these games, without them, there wouldn't be any Fallen Order, and Fallen Order kind of was the sum of all of those things. Connor, you have a YouTube channel? I didn't know that. That's cool. You're close to 1,000. Well done. Good job. It's not an easy benchmark to get to. It takes a lot of work. Yeah, so I'd put Squadrons at B. Super pretty game, but it's kind of one of those things where until they expand on it, I don't know. It was a fun game to play through and play a little bit, but didn't grab me. What? Oh, back up, Thrawn. I didn't know that Pod Racer was coming out again, or Episode 1 Racer was coming out for consoles. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I would totally up that to S tier or A tier. Probably not S tier, but I think that mostly covers most of the games. I'm trying to think through. Yeah, there's some that are out there. There's this PlayStation Portable version of Battlefront. That one was interesting because you could customize a character. So that was kind of fun. I played that for a little bit. It's out now. The Pod Racer one is out now. Wow. I'll have to check that out. Is it on Xbox? Interesting. Well, yeah. So tell me what you guys disagree with. If there's something else on here, that I don't know if you would change anything on this list. But that's the bulk of most Star Wars games. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Star Wars games are pretty much the reason I still play video games. I'm a pretty busy guy, so I've got a full-time job doing YouTube, also in grad school, so I don't have a whole lot of time to play video games, but when I do, it's probably a Star Wars game, and it could be any one of them from this list, minus the D category, because I don't like those, but pretty much any of the other categories, I'll still play one of these games if I can. Sweet, yeah, I'm gonna have to look up Episode 1 Racer, yeah. Well, with that, guys, what are you guys thinking in terms of Mandalorian Chapter 10 tonight? It's gonna be a good one. I've got some predictions, but for the most part, I want to hear what you guys are thinking is gonna happen. Which, by the way, we are going to start talking about Mandalorian here for the next few minutes. So if you haven't seen Chapter 9 of The Mandalorian and you don't want spoilers, I would back out now. I would leave the live stream because I imagine a conversation around The Mandalorian at this point will be revealing spoilers. I'm going to drop a comment here so that we can know that in case anyone is jumping in. There we go. There's spoiler warning. Okay, Ponkrell. You think it'll be the ocean planet, Mon Cala? Yeah, that seems likely because you see the Mon Calamari and oh man, I'm already blanking on some of those species, but you see them both on that dock. So Mon Calamari could make sense. Um, I'm not sure why they would go there. I'm not sure why. The other theory is obviously Camino. Um, and, uh, you know, but it's going to be called the Veteran. Yeah, so Mon Calamari, Mon Cala, it could be that. It could be Camino. Um, obviously, there's a lot of hints towards cloning and a lot. There's a whole cloning storyline revolving around the child and what the client wanted from the child back in season 1. So it would make sense that Camino is somewhat introduced, and maybe that's this ocean planet, maybe not. Who knows? I will not leave the stream. Does not matter if I had seen the new season yet. Well, thank you for staying and sticking around, but you have been warned. Jason, I'm excited. I think Boba is going to ambush Mando, and Mando is going to have to try to escape. Maybe he gets the help of Cobb Vanth or some Tuskens. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm surprised. I'd be surprised if we see Boba in this episode. I think they're going to switch gears a little bit. I don't think if we do see Boba, I don't think it will be in a huge way. I could be wrong. I was right last week when I predicted the big reveal would be Boba. But I really, really have no idea for this episode. I don't feel like we'll see Boba. I feel like they'll kind of switch gears on us a little bit. Probably won't see Cobb Vanth in this episode. I think it'll be like last season where they introduce characters like Cobb Vanth, and then they kind of take a pause from them. We'll see Cobb Vanth later in the series, I bet, or later in the season, but probably not this second episode. Oh my gosh, yeah, Grand Admiral. Good night, brother. Thanks for hanging out. Hope that you enjoy the Mandalorian when you wake up. I think he's going to be given to a young Luke. I don't think we're going to see Luke Skywalker. I don't think we're going to see Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian at all. We might get mentioned. He might be mentioned. And I could be wrong, but I could almost 100% say, just based off of my own speculation, I could guess that we're not going to see Luke Skywalker in Season 2 for sure. We might see him in Season 3 or a later season, but I'd be surprised. I don't think we will. Oh man, yeah, get some sleep. Ben kills him, I swear. That would be wild, though. So the child is given to Luke, but Luke ends up, or Ben ends up killing the child. That would be wild. That would be. I don't think they'll do that. I'm not sure. I don't know what the child's story could be ultimately. My guess, to be honest, is that he gets connected with either Ahsoka or maybe even a brand new character and kind of goes off. There's no way that they'll kill the child. I just don't see it. Star Wars Multiverse. I don't have school on Fridays. That's awesome. That's cool. We'll get through there. Yeah, honestly, this is an episode that I don't feel like I have a lot of predictions for. I think we'll probably see Sasha Banks' character, and it would make sense if it was Sabine to me, but we don't know. Is Baby Yoda the chosen one? He was born around the same time as Anakin was, so maybe. I doubt it though. What else we got? Well, we're gonna wrap up this stream here in a little bit. And while we're all talking about school, I apologize for no upload yesterday, and yeah, I'm in grad school, so I am busy there. I have to write like a 15-page paper, so I'm gonna be doing that right after this live stream. But yeah, final predictions. Final predictions for chapter 10. Let me know. What if Baby Yoda becomes Darth Vader? All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out here. We are going to kind of wrap up this stream, and I'll catch you guys in my Mandalorian chapter 10 breakdown tomorrow. That'll get released probably midday. So I guess that I don't know what time that would be for everybody, but it'll be probably around noon, maybe a little bit later Mountain Time. And then I've got some what ifs coming out this weekend as well. So stay tuned for those.